I guess I grew up on an old dirt road. A pedal to the metal, always did what I told. Until I found out that my brand new clothes came secondhand from the rich kids next door. And I grew up fast, I guess I grew up mean. There's 1,000 things inside my head I wish I ain't seen. And now I just wander through a real bad dream, or feeling like I'm coming apart at the seams. But thank you, Jack Daniels, oh, number 7. Tennessee whiskey got me drinking in heaven. And
this is Larry Connors USA. Larry Connors USA.
A lot of people jumped the gun. A lot of people moved this All-Star game. Talked about supporting moving of the All-Star game. And yes, I do believe Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game before actually either reading the bill or understanding how the bill lined up with New Jersey laws, with New York laws, with laws all across the nation. And again, please, don't shoot me. I'm only the piano player. But I understand the bad faith that was shown in Georgia. I understand the bad faith that was shown by Georgia legislators. But this is going to be hard to unwind, and it's going to be hard to unwind.
Yeah, it is going to be hard to unwind. Joe Scarborough and the MSNBC saying a lot of people jumped the gun when it came to yanking the MLB All-Star game out of Georgia. He flat out admits it. That's one of their leftist big names, Joe Scarborough, and saying you jumped the gun. And, of course, that's not reference just MLB. It's everyone else who suddenly fell in behind them and started making all the noise. Coca-Cola, based in Atlanta. Delta Airlines, using Atlanta as a hub. 1,000-plus flights in and out of Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport every day. And everybody started talking about what can we do to boycott Georgia and make Georgia pay for it. When he says this is going to be hard to unwind, that's really an understatement. The very fact that they yanked the game from Atlanta, close to 65% black populace for Atlanta, and a lot of minority workers and minority businesses were certainly depending on the money coming with the All-Star game. And it's estimated there's $100 million at stake. $100 million. And not only do they pull the game, or the MLB, by the direction of the commissioner, pull the game from Georgia, Atlanta, they put it in Colorado, Denver, one of the whitest cities in the nation, 70+% white. And Denver, oh, we're happy. Yeah, we're happy to have it. And, of course, we're told by Stacey Abrams after MLB made that decision, she started coming out and making this statement. She was one of the ones pushing for attention to be paid to this Georgia law and to do something. And then when the decision was made, she starts doing this publicly. She states at one point, Black, Latino, AAPI, Native American voters are the most suppressed over this new law. They're the most likely to be hurt by potential boycotts of Georgia. So to our friends, please do not boycott us. To my fellow Georgians, stay and fight, stay and vote. Well, Joe Scarborough says maybe the MLB should have listened to that kind of remark from Stacey. And I say that kind because there's another story unfolding. Listen to Joe Scarborough.
Question is, did that warrant such a massive move? Or should they have listened to Stacey Abrams? Should they listen to John Ossoff? Should they listen to Ralph Warnock, who said, keep the All-Star game here, please, but let's use this as a learning experience, and let's use this to draw America's attention.
To draw America's attention. Well, they got America's attention, all right. Now, the storyline you're getting from Stacey and Ossoff, the black senator elected out of Georgia, is that we wanted the game to stay here. Haven't we been told that? But there's a story still developing, and I've been seeing bits and pieces of it. I've been trying to get a firm, definitive answer on it. But what I'm seeing in many of these stories, and again, it's not just in one source, but the story I keep finding is that, let me see if I can get this report here for you and give you a source on it, because I prefer to give you sources so you know where it's coming from. All right, this is Fox Business News. Charles Gasparino. And he has sources, he said, inside Major League Baseball that claim that Commissioner Rob Manfred blindsided the MLB owners with at least the timing of his decision to pull the All-Star game from Atlanta. In other words, the other owners weren't told anything until suddenly he said, we're yanking it, we're taking it. And again, Charles Gasparino, Fox Business Network, says that his sources also say that Manfred spoke with defeated 2018 Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams before he decided to move the game. Well, then I guess you would think that she was going to be telling her, don't move the game, don't move the game. Well, if you follow the story on out, what had happened at that point, the MLB commissioner, Manfred, said, and again, I'm looking for a more direct statement than George Gasparino, but he is saying that we talked to Stacey, but she was originally and initially working with the More Than a Vote group in Georgia to support the MLB decision to move out. And supposedly she and LeBron James were talking to the MLB about doing this, and apparently Al Sharpton got involved, and they were all saying, yeah, you need to go ahead and just yank it out. So they were saying, go ahead and pull the game. Stacey Abrams, inside conversations, according to Gasparino, and I think I'm going to buy this story, because it certainly sounds like the usual leftist trickery. I'll admit, beyond that proof, I still haven't found all the evidence I want. But she's talking to MLB Commissioner Manfred and said, take the game out. Just take it away from Georgia. Because she wanted to make sure Democrats would be absolutely incensed over this Georgia law, and the whole basis of this was to get more support for House Bill 1 and companion bill in the Senate to federalize all elections. And then when the decision is publicly made to move it, she comes out, well, the folks who are going to be hurt the worst would be the ones that, rely on it. They're going to be hurt worse. And she's right. But the inside baseball story, to use that pawn, she didn't give a damn about them really at that point, because she was using them as pawns just like the Dems use so many others. She saw, we can pull this game. And I'll go out and tell everybody, I wish you hadn't done that. It's going to hurt the people that are suffering the most. But already she's been part of the decision-making process, adding her voice, along with Sharpton and LeBron James. Now, the other side that comes in also, MLB, inside baseball, commissioners and others are saying that, well, we fear that if we went ahead and held the game there, well, then many of the players wouldn't go anyway. So we wouldn't have a true all-star game. And not only that, some other folks might pull out, some of the advertisers might pull out, so forth and so on. That might have been true. But the fact that they were actually behind the doors with Stacey Abrams, who's now out there chastising them, and I'll bet that's got to ruffle Manfred in the MLB, don't you think? Hey, I thought you wanted this. You put us into this box and you walked out. There might be an accounting at some point. And, of course, we still have the other issue of all the loss of money for Atlanta, regardless of who really is to blame, who played a part in it and who didn't. But Chuck Scarborough, as you heard a moment ago on MSNBC, he says it's going to be hard to unwind all of this. And he also asked, basically, did they actually listen at any point? Should they have listened to Stacey Abrams, as you heard a moment ago? Why weren't they listening to her? Well, apparently they were listening, Chuck. She wanted them out. Congressman Carter of Georgia. And Congressman Carter, this is not related to Billy Carter, former President Carter of Georgia, but Congressman Buddy Carter said maybe we need to send some flowers to Stacey.
I just want to take the opportunity to thank Joe Biden, to thank Stacey Abrams, and to thank Raphael Warnock for taking this away from the state of Georgia. You should be congratulated, and you have achieved what you set out to achieve, taking money out of the pockets of small business people, many of them minority business people.
Yep, many of them minority business people. And again, let's go back to that clip of Scarborough where he's saying basically to MLB, go ahead and listen to Stacey. Well, you heard Congressman Carter say, sure, go ahead. They listen, and she should be really thanked for taking all this away from Georgians. Again, here's Scarborough, MSNBC.
Question is, did that warrant such a massive move? Or should they have listened to Stacey Abrams? Should they listen to John Ossoff? Should they listen to Ralph Warnock, who said, keep the All-Star game here, please, but let's use this as a learning experience, and let's use this to draw America's attention?
Well, that's the whole point. Behind closed doors, apparently they were listening to Stacey. Take it. Take the game. Punish Georgia. Make the Republicans the culprit. I don't think that's going to play out that way. Not as more information comes out about the talks that were going on behind the curtain between MLB and Stacey and Sharpton and maybe LeBron James, depending on if he's involved, and others. But I also think that the MLB commissioner at some point is going to say, you told us you were in favor of us doing it, and now you're making us look like the bad guy. There may have to be an accounting to that. And, of course, the other issue that is facing Georgia is the Masters Golf Tournament. The Masters Golf Tournament. Well, to that point, that question's been raised to Joe Biden. And listen to this when he talked about what MLB should do when it comes to any other corporations, or especially the Masters now. He starts to waffle.
Mr. President, do you think the Masters Golf Tournament should be moved out of Georgia?
I think that's up to the Masters. Look, it is reassuring to see that for-profit operations and businesses are speaking up about how these new Jim Crow laws are just antithetical to who we are. The best way to deal with this is for Georgia and other states to smarten up. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Stop. Once he took forever to think that one through, didn't he? So he's going to leave it to the PGA to decide, not really going to push one way or the other. CBS, which had been kind of, we're all corporate too, we're woke. But they are going to carry the Masters. They're certainly going to carry because there's money to be made there. They're going to carry the Masters. And don't forget, Senator Rubio asked the baseball commissioner, Stanford, you've got a membership in the Augusta National Golf Club. You going to pull your membership? There's still no word on that. You see how the hypocrisy just runs around and runs around. Oh, one other little thing. CNN headquartered in Atlanta. Or is CNN, since it's all woke and pushing this, or is CNN going to yank its headquarters out of Atlanta? You're not going to hold your breath, are you? But there's something else Biden is ignoring. Stand by.